Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Hamilton Ticats conference call. I would now like to turn the meeting over to Aaron Gogashvili. Please go ahead, sir.
Thanks, Paul, and thanks everyone for joining the call this afternoon. We're joined here today by June Jones, head coach of the Hamilton Ticats, and his newly appointed assistant head coach, Orlando Steinauer. There will be no opening remarks today, so we'll jump right into the Q&A with Coach Jones and Coach Steinauer. And on that note, I'll turn the call back over to Paul so we can open it up to the floor for questions. Thanks.
Thank you. We will now take questions from the telephone lines. If you have a question and you are using a speakerphone, please lift your handset before making your selection. If you have a question, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. And if at any time you wish to cancel your question, please press the pound sign. So please press star 1 at this time if you have a question. There will be a brief pause while the participants register. We thank you for your patience. The first question is from Drew Edwards from the Hamilton Spectator. Please go ahead. Your line is now open.
Orlando, first of all, welcome back. It's super exciting that you're coming back on a number of different levels, but I have to say it caught a lot of people by surprise given the fact that you just left a year ago and everyone sort of felt that you were on a different career track. I know you addressed some of them in your statement put out by the team yesterday, but can you sort of explain in more detail why you would make this move now after leaving a year ago?
Yeah. Thanks, Drew. Can you hear me okay? Can everybody hear me?
I can. Thank you.
Okay, good. Yeah, so again, when I went down originally, there was no plan as to come back or anything for the future. I was just going down there to do the best job that I could for Fresno State and was extremely grateful for the opportunity. This opportunity kind of just happened fast. It was something that came up. It wasn't on my radar. I didn't make any phone calls in that sort of manner. And, as opportunities arise in life, you're forced to make decisions. And for my family and where I wanted to be personally and professionally, while it was a very tough decision, we feel that this was the right decision for us.
Thank you. Once again, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad if you have a question. The next question is from Bob O'Neill from CHCH. Please go ahead. Your line is open.
Coach O, you're back.
Yes.
It's a Bubba here. I'm impressed, obviously, that you're back. I think most of us here would believe that. But were you impressed, and I don't know how much you're into social media, to see the overwhelming sort of congratulations and welcome back from many of what will be your players?
Yeah, like the support's been outstanding. I've been, involved in Hamilton for a long time. The quality of people in the community and the organization, the players themselves, the relationships that I built with, quite a number of them were, obviously they withstood the test of time. So, as far as being surprised, just humbled by it, a little bit overwhelmed. It's great. This is the fun part about it. But really grateful for the support.
Thank you. The next question is from Louis B. from TSN 1150 Hamilton. Please go ahead. Your line is open. Louis B., if your line is on mute, please unmute your line.
Try that now. Can you guys hear me? Is my line unmuted? Oh, we got you.
Okay, thanks. This question is for June, actually. We've been waiting with bated breath on a coaching staff announcement, and we haven't seemed to gotten one yet. So I do want to check, because there are a couple of names that have been floating out there. Philip Lawley and Jerry Glanville. Will they be part of your coaching staff next season?
Yes, Jerry Glanville will be named defensive coordinator, and I think you guys will have opportunity to talk with him on Monday. I extended an offer to Phil to come back, but he has elected to not do that.
Okay, and just one more. Dan Morrison on the offensive side. Do you expect to have him back in some capacity?
Yes, I do. He'll be, I think, part of the Monday announcement also.
Okay, so Coach O, when you hear the names that are coming here, obviously you worked with some great coaches in your time here in Hamilton the first time around, but now coming back and working with June Jones, working with Jerry Glanville, what excites you about that opportunity?
Well, just that, the opportunity excites me. Anytime you can get around two coaches that have become lifers in this business, and not just lifers, but done it at the highest level, that's an attractive part. As much as it's been accomplished for me personally as a coordinator, there's a lot that hasn't been accomplished in my coaching career, and so I'm always intrigued by the opportunity of professional development. And to have a chance to learn on-the-job training from two men like Jerry and June, that's a hard opportunity to pass up, in my opinion.
All right, thanks, guys. Looking forward to the season.
Thank you.
Thank you. Once again, please press star 1 on the telephone keypad if you have a question. The next question is from Drew Edwards from Hamilton Spectator. Please go ahead. The line is open.
Orlando, what's in this for you from a professional development standpoint? I mean, is this about this year and learning under June, like from an offensive football point of view? Is this about sort of the future? Do you see yourself sort of, moving forward in the organization? Like, what's the short term? What's the long term strategy here?
Well, I can just address that question head on. I'm here to, first of all, to support June Jones in any way I can. I'm not in this for, not job chasing. I'm in here as a 100% support in any way I can to help bring the Grey Cup back to Hamilton. For me personally, it's just what I had spoke to earlier. Absolutely. An opportunity to learn the other side of the football is extremely attractive to me. I mean, all I've done is study offenses, for 20 years as a player and a coach. And, yeah, you can always get clinic talk and things from other people, but to sit back and really dig into something, I think can only help me professionally as a coach. And it's not just about the X's and O's. I have a chance to learn a way not just to install offenses or defenses, but a chance to observe and overview the whole organization and how he runs his show and those sorts of things. So there's an infinite number of ways that I can learn in my professional development, and I'm just excited for that opportunity.
And what's the long term strategy? What's the long term goal for you?
I'm just honestly, I'll give you a cliche answer here, but my long term goal, I've always told you at some point, I think if you went back and reviewed interviews, that I see myself as a head coach, but it's the same thing that you enter a season with. We all know the goal is to win the Grey Cup, but you don't focus on the Grey Cup. You focus on the process. And I'm just focused on the process. So I'm focused on what I have to go tomorrow, what we have when we report as a staff, what we're going to have day one training camp. So at some point in my career, I won't dance around it. I see myself as a head coach, but I'm not into watching right now. That's not something that I wake up. That'll happen in time.
And from a family perspective, I mean, your girls obviously were raised primarily in Southern Ontario. I wonder how much of this is a personal decision for you. Did they not like California? Oh, I mean, it's California.
Yeah, it's kind of hard not to like palm trees, but the bottom line is we're extremely happy down there. This thing happened quickly, to be honest with you. The kids adjusted well. Playing basketball in the driveway in February was very fun and very attractive. It does not hurt, to answer your question directly, that we're coming back to a city and a town that they know, a place where we own a home. So all that does factor into a decision like this, yes.
So you didn't sell the place in Oakville? You still have it?
We do still have the place in Oakville.
Interesting. Okay.
Thank you. The next question is from Bob O'Neill from CHCH. Please go ahead. Your line is open.
Coach Jones, I mean, had you had any prior opportunity to study or talk to Orlando well before this happened? And what made it attractive for you to say that we need to get this guy on our coaching staff?
Well, I had talked to people in the organization from the time that I've gotten there, and some of the other coaches on the staff, and then of course just recently I've talked to quite a few of the players, and all was real positive. So I felt, it was an opportunity to, even though Orlando is going to be learning kind of more the insertion of the offense part of it, as being assistant head coach, it also will be there to share his experiences on the other side of the ball also with Jerry as he plugs into CFL football, which I'm really excited about that part of it. So from that standpoint, I've heard all positive things, and that was kind of swayed me to talk a little more about it with Scott the last couple of weeks, and then Scott finally reached out in the last few days to Orlando, and we had a positive response.
And Orlando, kind of the same thing for you. Obviously you've known about June. I mean, he's a legendary coach kind of thing. What was the attraction on a personnel side for you? I mean, I know you said things change and you can learn under a coach, but I mean, was there another attraction that made you say this is something that I need to do?
It's a good question. I just will say that, I felt like, having Jeff Reinbold on my staff, he had worked with June in a couple different locations. I felt like I already kind of had a little mini connection to him because he spoke so highly of him in the past. So as far as how everything transpired like that, it just seemed, after a conversation with him, again, there's something to be said for experience and a comfort level, and then there's times when you go with your gut feeling, and I just had a good feeling inside. And as hard as it was to leave a great situation at Fresno and the success we had down there immediately with 10 wins and a bowl win, I knew from the outside in this wouldn't make a lot of sense, but at the end of the day, it's about me and my family and what's best for the situation. And once June and I had a conversation or two here recently, it just felt right.
Thank you. Once again, please press star 1 on the telephone keypad if you have a question. The next question is from Louis B. from TSN 1150 Hamilton. Please go ahead. Your line is open.
Coach Jones, you were pretty honest in the assessment that Stefan Potasic, in addition to the roles that he served on offense, was a CFL translator. Do you see Orlando kind of taking on a similar role to that, but with expanded responsibilities?
Well, I more certainly see Orlando helping every which way, on the field and off the field. I think we have some guys still on the staff, Jared Baines and some other guys that will kind of pick up the slack, Corey, on what we're losing with Steph from an internal standpoint. So I feel pretty good about that.